Hey guys, welcome to Duet Vault again. This is Tolga SERT. Today we will check the audio interfaces from Mooer Audio, Step 1 and Step 2, and then we will talk about guitar recording at home. Today we have Step 1 and Step 2. Those are the new audio interfaces, the multi-platform audio interfaces from Mooer Audio. They have dual inputs, dual outputs. Also, they provide 24-bit 192 kHz high-resolution audio to the user. Both devices have microphone and line-in inputs with high impedance value instrument support. Also, we have 48-volt phantom power for condenser microphones. The main difference between Step 1 and Step 2 is the amount of XLR inputs and the MIDI in, MIDI out ports. As I mentioned before, both devices have two inputs. But in Step 2, we have two inputs which supports both XLR and TR. But in Step 1, we have only one TR and one XLR and TR input. Also, we have MIDI in and MIDI out ports just on the Step 2. Because of its features, design and the price, it can be a perfect fit for the bedroom players. But also if you have complex recording rigs, it can be a good solution because of its simplicity and mobility to record something in another room or in another place. Now let's connect the Step 2 to my M1 Macintosh and let's check the audio quality and user friendliness, and then we can talk about guitar recording at home. So I connected the Step 2 to my Macintosh. You can easily connect the device to the computer with a simple cable. Also, in some circumstances, additional power can be needed and the device supports that too. You can connect an additional power supply to the device with another Type-C cable. Now, I'm using Logic and I already created a file for that test. I'm using the drum loops of Beta Monkey and I created a simple drum track like that. You are hearing the audio from microphone, but also now the audio comes out from my speakers of my computer. So first of all, I'm gonna activate the Step 2. As you can see, there's Mac Mini speakers. I'm gonna change that to Step 2. Also, the input device should be Step 2 too. Now we are hearing the audio from nowhere because it's amazing. Actually, I'm talking about the drum loops from Beta Monkey. Nice work, guys. It's amazing. I think if you have a new band and you have no budget to record actual drums, it can be the best solution for you because they recorded different drum parts for different metronomes and you can find the patterns for verses, choruses or fills. There are lots of different patterns and in the Double Bass Mania package they used triggers for kicks and snares, and because of that it's extra punchy, it's extra huge, it's amazing. You definitely should check that. Now let's talk about Step 2. We have the main out knob where you can control the volume. Also we have a mix knob which controls the ratio between the direct monitoring and the system audio. For this video I'm gonna make that all the way up to the system audio. At the end of the video you will be able to hear the raw DIs and the recorded track, but for now you will be able to hear the audio just from the SM7B. Also for the video I'm gonna use my Jackson KV2. It's my main X, my main beast since 2017 or 2018. I'm not sure, but I have this X for a long time. Let's connect the guitar. I'm gonna use the first input, and before hearing anything from the computer, from the digital audio workstation, but I'm already hearing it anyway. There are different approaches for recording guitar. Some of them say you have to keep the input gain as low as possible. To achieve that, you have to adjust the height of your pickups well, because if you keep your height of the pickups low, you won't get enough output level. Also, some of the pickups can't provide that output level, so you have to put some additional input gain from the device, but it's not necessary for me because I'm using the high impedance support. Also, I have Seymour Duncan JBs on that beast. Because of that, I can achieve negative 6 decibels when I'm palm muting. So let's talk about recording guitars. You have to be sure about your guitar, and to achieve that, you have to check some sections of your guitar. First of all, you need fresh strings. It's essential. If you want to record something decent, put some fresh strings on your guitar. I know the difference is not that huge when you are using some plugins, but do that. It will directly affect your guitar's response to your playing too. So first of all, put some fresh strings. Then you have to be sure about your intonation. You either check your intonation from 12th fret or the 7th fret. It's a little bit of trick that I learned from Murat Akça. It's one of the greatest guitar player for me in Turkey. You should definitely check his works. They are amazing. He mentioned that one time, and he said, I check my intonation from 7th fret because he's a 7th string player and most of the time he plays more genty, and he's using the first 5 or 7 frets between the 7th string instead of going down, and he wants the perfect intonation for the first 7th string instead of making it for the 12th. And it's different approaches for the intonation. Decide your own way, then check the intonation. If you don't know how to do it, you can find plenty of information on YouTube as well. But even for Floyd Roses, it's not that tricky. You can do that in your own home. I won't talk about tuning, but you have to be sure about your tuning too. Also, use the guitars with tuning stability. Because of the instability in tunings, even a simple recording can be hard. Also, an additional trick, if you are recording as a band, you can request from a band member to remind you that checking the tuning nearly between every riff, because double checking won't harm anyone, even though you are absolutely sure with the stability of your guitar. Also, another trick, you might play your guitar as loud as possible, as harsh as possible on the stage or jamming, but being a recording musician is kinda different. You have to be stable, you have to keep your hands as tamed as possible, and you have to increase the velocity, increase the aggressiveness in only necessary parts. With that, you will achieve a more dynamic playing in the recordings. So simply, if you can use a proper instrument with proper devices, with proper hands, you probably will achieve a nice sound. I won't talk about the importance of metronome or different approaches to the recording sections like start and stops or recording all at once, because it's an endless pit and you have to decide for your own needs. But as I mentioned just before, right guitar, right device, and right playing won't betray you. Now let's record something. I'm gonna use 2 tracks as left and right channels for dual guitar recording. You can't just copy the first one to another because of the phase and all of stereo image, that kind of stuff. Investigate more if you wanna learn details about that. But simply record 2 times. It will make everything huge. Let's analog 1 and also analog 1. Also, I'm recommending using headphones during the recording, but I won't use this time because I want you to hear the audio from the microphone. So I'm gonna put one to the left and one to the right. Also, I'm gonna use 14 Kali from Neural DSP. It sounds nice. I'm gonna put the same VST to the another channel. It was the first track, and then I'm gonna record the second. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna mute the first recording because I want to hear my actual recording instead of getting lost between the first and second recording. I want to be able to hear the mistakes. And let's add some bass into it. For that, I'm gonna use the parallax of Neural DSP. By the way, I'm using David Ellefson's signature from Jackson. It's a 5-string CB-XV bass guitar with EMG Hertz passive pickups, and there's an active preamp circuit in that guitar. So let's go. And we are done. So let's remove the cable and let's listen to DIs. Let's start with bass DI. It's quite nice. And let's check the first guitar. We have a clipping, but it's because of me. Actually, it's not about the device. And let's check the guitars with 14 Kali. We will hear the dual guitars. It sounds huge actually. I won't make any adjustment besides leveling. Then I'm gonna adjust the bass. And I create the sum track, a bass track for the guitars, because I want to control the guitars from a one fader. As you can see, I'm on the -8 dB and I don't want to push that level. So I'm gonna increase the fader till just a little bit of increase. And then I'm gonna keep the volume as low as possible. I will be able to hear all of the components, all of the instruments while keeping the volume low. I think we are good to go for a demo purpose. Then let's just put a limiter on the output. I believe we can send that project to an engineer, a producer, or we can just directly export that audio to send to our bandmate or recording companies or whoever we want. So I hope the tips that I shared today will be helpful to your recording sessions. Also, don't forget to share your thoughts about Step 1 and Step 2 on the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Till the next video, see ya.